What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Mac here. So, told y'all I'm sticking to my schedule. Here I am, starting. Doing it a little more mobily because in the position that I work in now, I just get off a little later, so it's easier to do it this way. So, anywho, I was thinking to myself what I was gonna make my first, real comeback video to be about. And so, what I decided to do was really more or less just kind of talk about how folks get off the beaten path of finding themselves, right? Now, again, this is all off the cuff, top of the dome, stuff I researched over the years, but basically you're going to get it from my perspective. So, I feel like, and I'm again speaking from personal experience as well, but I feel like as human beings, we have a hard time conceptualizing something bigger than ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watched a video about 2 years ago by this guy that I follow. His name is Charity Croft. And basically what he said was, like, you'd be remiss to not believe there was a grand designer, because he said you look at the conch of a shell or whatever, or a conch or a shell or whatever, in the way that its rings are measured precisely apart. You look at the budding of a flower as the same thing. You know, a lot of people call that, the golden ratio, basically. Or if you ever get the chance, check out Spirit, Science, and Math of God. They talk about it in that as well. That basically everything is like measured with such preciseness that there has to be a grand designer, right? So I say that to start this video by saying, again, as human beings, we have a hard time conceptualizing something greater than us because, again, we're very sensory-based beings. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are the top of the food chain, yes, but if we can't see, taste, touch, hear, all that, then you don't believe it for whatever reason. That's where I'm trying to get to, where your sixth sense, or those with a highly developed pituitary glands, which is right next to your pineal gland, which basically is supposed to be the seat of the soul, or your third eye, and it allows you to essentially tap into that divine being that we're all made in the likeness of, or essentially it allows you to operate on that spiritual level. Now, a lot of times over, the time span of life, and those who just close themselves off to it, it's become calcified, and so a lot of times people don't even realize that they can't really tap into their pineal gland without, actual working at it, working to decalcify and working to open in that third eye and, elevate yourself to that spiritual place. Now, I say all that to say, for whatever reason, as human beings, again, we don't believe a lot unless it's there, but you can't tell me that you haven't had that feeling to where you can feel somebody looking at you, or like you've had somebody on your mind all day and then that person call you, or just out of the way happenstance. And again, that's all called synchronicity. That's a series of events that are related and tied to each other that, in most situations, people would assume are coincidental. So that's where we're going to start these weekly videos at, is essentially is why people give up on themselves and how to fight that. So speaking of my own spiritual lost journey, basically, for me, I like to compare it to noise, right? So, like, I'm a very musically inclined individual. I don't know if it comes with just being a Pisces or just part of who I am, but, like, I don't like loud sounds. Now, I'll listen to music that I like, turn all the way to the max, right? But, like, noise or discombobulated or dysfunctional sound, I don't like. So I don't really like arguing with people. I don't like people yelling at me. I don't like a lot of those things. And, a lot of people say, oh, well, Matt, you ain't the only one who don't like that. A lot of people don't like that. But I know specifically that for my nature of who I am or who I'm trying to be, it doesn't resonate with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, the second somebody is trying to be an authoritarian to me or, control me, in my opinion, I lose it, right? So you add that with, your own doubts and your own fears, and then life just kind of getting busy, and you will lose your sight of that. Now, I would like to believe that I'm a light worker and that I've been placed here on this earth to do good things, but at the same time, if I'm not daily living that, if I'm not actively pursuing being my highest self, being my greatest self, helping others, smiling more, being kind to people, then you can't be a light worker, because how are you shedding any light? All you're doing is running a rat race. See, that's the whole thing. To me, that falls into the Lucifer effect, or the pure chaos of it all, where it's basically, as human beings, we walk around saying, oh, there is no God, or I can do all this on my own, and you let yourself believe all that false bravado, and essentially, Lucifer or the devil or whatever you want to call it has won, because he's already blocked you off from listening to your inner self. You're too busy caught up in the ways of the world, whether it be sex, drugs, being absorbed by your phone all day, whatever it is, you do. And then you lose touch with your truer self and kind of get lost in the masses. And like I said, then you walk around like the Matrix waiting for somebody to unplug you because you forgot it all. And again, that's where I felt like I started to approach, only because, again, I'm not going to put all my business out here, but, I'm in my second marriage now, and you think I'd learned some things from my first marriage. It's not going entirely the greatest, but it's not going awful either. It's just a difference of opinion in different people. And I understand that. But at the same time, that became the forefront of my focus for a long time. I was like, I felt like I was a shitty husband the first time. I got to be a better husband now. And, me and my wife were actually drawn to each other because of our spiritual beliefs. And so now it's like, okay, so how do I grow as an individual spiritually, and how does she grow spiritually? And then we connect that together. You see what I'm saying? Too many times, again, we give up on ourselves because something just seems too hard. Oh, this ain't working. Oh, I'm not, reading people's minds yet. And that's a joke. Or I'm not levitating or whatever, so I must not be doing it right. My third eye is not open. And that's not really how it works. The thing about it is it's constant practice. It's constant motion. It's constant applying these thoughts and beliefs into your daily works. Ralph Smart on Infinite Water says it best. Sometimes, you got to just breathe in that good ass prana. That's what he says. That's his thing. I'm glad it works for him, but he does it, before every video, and he probably does it every day, because he takes in that fresh breath of clean air, and he always is in a serene environment when he does his videos, that it sets you in a calming mind state from the jump. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to wrap this up because I don't want it to get too long. But if you follow me and you dig what I got to say, then why, maybe you can comment and, help me understand, or we can all grow together. But why is it that we are so quick to give up on ourselves when it comes to being our better selves spiritually, but we'll, stay in the wrong relationship for a long time, or, not apply ourselves and then say, oh, I hate where my life is going. But, at the end of the day, you have the power to change all of that. Perfect example, and I'll end it like this. I'm not necessarily in the field that I want to be in now. I currently no longer work in law enforcement. There's another story behind that. I just didn't really want to do it any longer. And now I'm in this new field. It's kind of like, well, damn, I got to figure out what my niche is, because I don't necessarily like this either. It's okay. It pays. That's cool. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like I'm being my best version of myself. And so, again, what is the point of doing any of this stuff in life if you're not going to be the best version of yourself? Life is very short, very finite. And one thing that my mom kind of helped me, shout out to her, understand recently, but mostly recently, was that, I'm getting ready to be, God, don't no one judge me, but I'm getting ready to be 31 this year, right? And I don't feel like I've lived up to all the things that I want to accomplish. At the end of the day, only I can blame myself for that. And not necessarily beat myself up about it, but it's just like, you haven't necessarily done everything to get you to where you want to be. So are we going to continue to do what's keeping you where you are? or are you going to do what's necessary to progress and be a newer you? It's a new year. I like to think new me. So with that being said, I'm gonna let y'all go. Again, you can follow me on Instagram at bmack388. I'm gonna get back to posting my positive memes there. You can follow me on Facebook. You just look at my name. Man, you can follow me here. Pretty responsive and pretty quickly. So hit me up. Let me know what you think. And let's not give up on ourselves, people. Let's do what's necessary to improve our lives. Whether it's just be something small. If you don't make your bed up in the morning, get up and make your bed. There was a Navy SEAL speech that I highly respect. His name escapes me right now, but this retired Navy admiral, he was a SEAL on the mission, or he helped coordinate the mission that took out Osama bin Laden, and he basically went and gave a speech to Texas. I want to say University of Texas, or was it Texas A&M? One of those two. And basically, the speech starts where he says, to change your day and change your mindset, make your bed. That's the first thing you do, right? Not because, it mattered to him whether you made your bed or not, but because in the grand scheme of things, if you've already done that, you've changed that, then the rest of your day should be conquerable because you've already done the first step, and that's to get up and do something differently and make your bed. So again, it's your boy Mac here. Sorry it got a little longer than I expected, but got good information coming. I want to reach out to y'all and talk, interact. Again, maybe one day become a big YouTuber about beliefs and spirituality. On that note, I'm going to head out. I hope y'all are blessed, and I will see you next week.